back to AlextheRed&More. Hope you're all doing well today. Today's video I'm going to be going through what I feel like are Liverpool's 5 most important signings under Jurgen Klopp so far. Let's get into it. Number 5, this will probably be a bit of a surprise to some, is Fabinho. Yes, Fabinho, yeah, I do know he's had quite an awful season, this 5th season at Liverpool, but the first 4 seasons he was here, 2018 to 2022, I thought he was possibly even the most important midfield in terms of Liverpool always challenging for the title since he came in, and that was proven when we signed him straight after the Champions League final defeat against Real Madrid in 2018, and you could definitely see the impact he had when he first signed in, he was like an important spine of when he first came in, protecting the midfield and breaking up attacks, allowing to pass into further midfield and allowing the transition into attack, and he was very important in that, as you can see. And then you can also see that he also covered the centre-back role a couple of times, especially I remember in the Champions League game against Bayern Munich, that's the first season he was here, and also he was forced to play centre-back for quite a huge majority, I think, of the COVID-21 season. And he did his best he could for a certain time until Klopp decided to keep with Williams and Phillips in defence, but I thought Fabinho in general has been very overwatched in midfield, and he's really only done his best for those first 4 seasons, and without him I don't think we would have won quite as much as we did for those 4 years. But he's still useful, I think, for the future to have as a general backup option, but I don't. He's at the stage now because of his dropping form that I don't think he can do it all his defensive role all regularly now this season, and Liverpool really do need a number 6, but I think he's still right as like a more Milner type role to do the odd occasional shift, but he's no doubt been one of the most important signings in terms of Liverpool going from doubters to believers for 4 years at least. Number 4 is Andy Robertson. Who would have thought a Scottish left-back from relegated Hull would go on to be such a world-class left-back and be so crucial in Liverpool, going from doubters to believers and him being a Champions League and Premier League winner? Who would have thought, coming from relegated Hull? And of course, Alberto Moreno was still ahead of him for a bit when he first signed, but once Robertson got into form and started taking over from him, he's absolutely nailed down the left back spot for the last 5 years under Klopp. And how important a decision that was by Klopp, because who the hell can replace him? He's literally irreplaceable as Liverpool's left back right now. Even though Tsimikas has provided some good competition, Robertson is still undoubtedly levels above Tsimikas, and it's the point Robertson still stays for the remainder of how long he is here, because when Robertson goes, we have no idea how much a void that is to replace at Liverpool. So yeah, Robertson is so important because for his switching play with Trent, and that's very key, and like Trent, Robertson is just as important as him as going forward into Liverpool on the break and counter-attacks. And yeah, Robertson is absolutely crucial with Klopp's system. Number 3, the Egyptian king himself, Mo Salah. What an important signing this was. The last of the original front 3 still here, with Mane and Firmino both left now. And yeah, Salah was not quite as crucial as Firmino originally, but Salah I feel still second most important because of all the goals he scored so far, and being a constant top scorer for the majority of the Liverpool team since 6 years ago when he first signed. And imagine where we'd be, especially 2 seasons ago, without his goals. We would have finished out the top 4 a lot earlier if Salah hadn't been here. And of course he scored all sorts of goals, basic tap-ins, free kicks, but most favourite definitely the wonder goals for the left foot, especially that left foot scream against Chelsea in 2019. Oh yes, and don't forget he scored such an early penalty in the Champions League final, which was probably the highest pressure moment, which he didn't bottle. And that was very key in Liverpool winning their first trophy under Klopp. So despite Salah missing 2 penalties this season, all his previous penalty takings definitely outweigh the Batista missing, and without Salah, the attack definitely wouldn't have like the same throttle and quality without Salah. So yeah, this is why Salah is third most important signing under Klopp. Okay, so now these are clearly the top two signings under Klopp, which definitely took doubts to believers. And second is Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk. Call him as you like. He's Virgil van Dijk. Quite a few of us Liverpool fans would say he's the best centre back in the world. Well, probably not now because after the season it's had, but in 2019 and 2020, before he got injured, you could definitely argue that he was the best centre back of the modern time, and he definitely proved that. Despite it, and 75 million fee in the end from Southampton was literally a bargain. As since we signed him, we went on to a Champions League final, which unfortunately lost the first time, but then second time around, we went to win it in Madrid, and first full season to Van Dijk, we were instantly in the title race with Man City until the final day, which was so unlucky not to win because of the 97 points both of us finished on. And then that second full season, we of course won the Premier League, and you could say Champions League football, Premier League in the first two full seasons is definitely money very well worth spent. And that's proof Van Dijk. And imagine if he didn't get that massive injury against Everton, which kept him out of 12 the COVID season. Imagine how much more better the defence would be now. I feel the injury definitely took its toll on him. Even when he first came back, he did well to play through all of that, but because of Van Dijk's focus on the World Cup, he's not been quite the same this season round. But is he totally finished yet? He's not finished, but he's not going to be the same as he was for those first 2 seasons he was here. But he's definitely still a starter for me in my eyes, alongside Konate. But yeah, Van Dijk's second most important signing. And now, the top number one and most important signing for me under Jurgen Klopp has to be Alisson Becker. And I'd even say he's probably the best in the world, because every season, or the 5 seasons he's been at Liverpool so far, he's made save after wondrous save, whether Liverpool have been on top challenging for the Premier League or fighting for just to scrape into top 4. Without his saves, we definitely would have finished lower in all the 5 seasons we've had so far. July 19th, 2018, most important transfer in Liverpool's recent history. Imagine where we'd be without Alisson Becker. Thinking back to December 2018, that must-win game at home to Napoli in the Champions League. Without the Alisson late save, Liverpool would have been knocked out of Champions League and descended down to Europa League. And now that we could have still won that, but we definitely may have also missed out. But we definitely would have missed out on the first Champions League, and possibly may not have even won it under Klopp so far if Alisson hadn't saved that, and possibly may not have even been winning the Super Cup, and also definitely would have not won the Club World Cup. So you can see that Alisson save changed absolutely loads in terms of Liverpool's 2018-2019 season. And even the title winning season, despite finishing 18 points ahead of City, he still made an unbelievable amount of massive saves, enabling all those tight 1-0 margin wins to enable such a large points difference over Man City that season. And despite his errors against Man City and Leicester in February 2021, where we nearly finished out of top 4, he still made up with some other good saves in other matches. And also, we must not forget that Alisson v West Brom goal, that was the moment we knew Liverpool would definitely finish in the top 4 in 2021. And 21-22, he still had a decent season. Of course, that was one of his best seasons because he helped us win the League Cup and FA Cup both twice against Chelsea, with being the decider in the penalty shootouts. And even though we missed out on top 4 this season just gone, we may not have finished in Europa League positions even if Alisson hadn't been here. So, yeah, if Alisson hadn't been here, this 2023 season just gone, I think there was a chance that Liverpool may not have even finished in the top 10. So yeah, thank God we signed Alisson Becker. Thank the Lord Alisson is here. Once he goes, I'll have no idea what to think. You think the farewell for Mina was sad? The farewell for Salah will be even worse, but the farewell for Alisson, I can't even bear to think the day Alisson leaves Liverpool. I just hope he stays as long as he can. You will never see a better goalkeeper for quite a long time at Liverpool than Alisson Becker. Thank the heavens you signed for Liverpool.